Then Yahusha answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith, be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. Keep going. Mm-hmm. And Yahusha departed from thence, and came nigh unto the Sea of Galilee.
Came down to where?
Unto the Sea of Galilee.
To the Sea of Galilee.
And went up into a mountain and sat down there.
Okay, so the theme of what we've been reading all that, where's this mountain he keep coming from? He's coming down from where? The mountain, but where's his location? Hasn't it been around Galilee the whole time we've been talking? So, he had mercy on this range. Now we see the centurion. And you still got that on, Pastor Ken? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, pick up where you left off. I think we were...
Matthew 8 and 6. No.
Chapter
13.
13, yeah, that's it.
And Yahusha said unto the centurion, Go your way, and as thou hast believed, so be it done unto you. And his servant was healed in the selfsame hour.
Is it not the same thing that just happened with this stranger at this moment? Yep. And her daughter was healed when? In the same hour. He sent her on her way, and he sent what? The centurion on his way. He didn't send the audience away? Because his focus point was the audience, not the centurion. But he had to make a point to his people, though. What was the point of the message he was trying to make to his people? The kingdom is yours. It belongs to you. But if you don't fall into the will of the Most High and return back under the covenant, come back in the covenant relationship with him, you'll be cast out. But you have people coming from where? The east and the west, and they'll sit down. But you know the focal point of his audience is Israel? For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And this is the message. This is why it's called the good news. Because it was good news for people who were being oppressed and being trodden down upon. That would not have been good news for the Romans. But you notice when he do these healings, he say, go and tell no one? Why is that?
Message not for them.
Right, but then he knew that they would be seeking what? To take his life. But you ever notice that, what's the common theme of these multitudes? Where are they at?
In the wilderness.
They're in the wilderness. They're not smack dab in the middle of Jerusalem.
That's good.
Say that again.
That's good.
That's good.
That's a good saying, and that's a good thing you just taught.
Oh yeah. So why I want to keep talking. Why wouldn't they be smack dab in the middle of Jerusalem? Because everybody could see it. Because what did Mashiyach know? He could not take that message into Jerusalem. Why?
Because them Romans will come down on them.
They would come down on them, they would kill him.
It's their kingdom.
It's their kingdom, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He was a revolutionist. Any revolutionists, don't they meet secretly? And they get the people together? They were in the wilderness. The people followed him. Their multitude were going to the wilderness to see him. Because not only did his life was being preserved, but he had to protect them as well.
He was wise as a serpent, but his harmless as a dove.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is why we're focusing on this, because we want to see who this kingdom belongs to. Because we've got in our head that we think this thing is for everybody. That we just be walking hand in hand, lollygagging and skipping through the tulips and all that craziness. Yeah, can't you see the imaginations that's going down through streets of gold, just sparkling and bubbling like ginger ale? That's what happens. after they have done all this wrongdoing and craziness, madness, you know that's unheard of. That is not going to happen, but I am going to bring this lesson to a close right there, and we will pick back up next Shabbat. I will say Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Hallelujah. So we're going to, at this time, bring on our Zarzakan. He's going to blow the shofar as we get ready to close out the lesson, and we're going to ask Aki Yaakov to come, and or he's going to lead us in prayer and pray us out. And afterwards, we're going to have open the floor for questions. You know what? Let's do the questions now. Let's do the questions now. Cody.
It's amazing that there are encounters will tell us that, yes, you are being punished because of your forefathers.
And we are.
But yet, they will not take the punishment for what their forefathers did. They don't want that. They think, oh no, I didn't do that. I shouldn't be responsible for what they did. That wasn't me. But they don't let us take on the punishment.
Right.
For no problem. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and you're right. And this is why he said, prepare a slaughter for them for the what? Iniquities of what? Of their forefathers. Why are we being punished the way we're being punished? It's because of the iniquities of our forefathers. We're paying off a sin debt. When they are persecuted, Mashiyach, what did they say? They had a choice. They could have freed him. But what was their choice? They said, give us what? Give us Barabbas.
Yeah, let his blood be on our children.
They said, let what? Let his blood be on what? Our children?
His children.
Our children, what?
Our children's children.
And our children's children. This is a generational curse that was passed down, that we're paying off a sin debt that our ancestors and our forefathers left.
So when it goes into the son cannot be put to death for the father's iniquity, going through punishment because of the father's iniquity is different than being put to death
Right.
because of the father's iniquity.
Exactly. That's a good point you made out. And just in case everyone didn't hear you by way of social media, he was saying being punished for the sins of your forefather is totally different than being put to death because of your forefathers' sins or whatever. And which is a good point to bring out. And a lot of people say, we had nothing to do with that. We didn't do this or we didn't do that. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. That's why he told me, even when you join hands with Yashra'al, he said, although you walk hand in hand, he said, the wicked shall not go unpunished. I don't care how you try to bring them under your bosom, how much you try to love them. Somebody got to pay. And he told you that they will not go unpunished. And that's what he meant. Any more questions, comments? I know the boo got a question.
Me? I got so much on my mind right now. I'm just gonna say, this was great. It was a great meeting. I learned a lot.
Because with Yashra'al, we have been so conditioned to be so accepting and inclusive. We start doing things that the scriptures don't even support. It does not do that. I mean, we just get on something altogether different. But you know why we do that? Because the religions, especially these religions and these religious institutions that we came in contact with and we sat under so long, they condition us to be that way.
Right.
Docile.
Yeah, they make us docile.
And nature teaches you that, because if you go over there hitting a stick, hitting a beehive with a stick, you're gonna reap what you sow.
You gonna reap what you sow. You gonna come up with some bumps.
Exactly. You go over there messing with a lion's cub, you're gonna reap what you. That's a natural law. This is a natural principle.
Yep.
So to think that it doesn't correlate, that doesn't make any sense.
Yep. And this is not going to be nice, because I keep telling you, let me tell you something. If the world knew, or the nations knew what they were in store for, they would take everything they have and just lay it at your feet. Get down on the ground, bow before you and kiss your feet and beg you for your forgiveness.
And that's how you know that they're not repentant, because there isn't any danger. They're willing to still live in the everything that we built off of. If you really start and give up everything that you got.
And see what people don't understand, it's not about the captivity with them. That was always the punishment for Yashra'al when they broke the covenant and the commandments.
Way back in the day, right?
He told them that. That was always the punishment. But he said, I've given my people into your hands. But what did they do? They went far beyond what he allowed them to go into their hands for.
Yeah.
And this says, he that touches Israel is what? Touches the apple of my eye. He said, unless a dog shall what?
Speak against it.
Wag his tail against
it.
Israel. And this is how you know how much Israel means to him. He said they went far beyond what he gave his people into their hands for. And this is why he has to beat the hell out of them. And it is what it is. Yeah, because I don't need to sugarcoat this. Yeah, this is why. It got so bad, he said, if they will what? Give back what they have taken from them. He said, I wouldn't even punish them. If they would give back what they have taken. But you notice one thing. They've never been able to humble themselves and do that. They have given reparation to nations of people that weren't even affected by us. That we didn't do anything to. Right now, the Jewish people get billions and billions and billions of dollars annually for something that took place over in Germany that didn't have anything to do with the United States of America. But the very people that are paying out all these billions of dollars are the very people that killed hundreds of millions of our people through the transatlantic slave trade, brought them over here and did the same thing. And not one thing, they don't even have it within themselves to do that. Even meeting with the United Nations, all of the other nations agreed that you guys telling the United, you all owe these people something. They said even if you pay off their debt, give them free college education and all, they still won't do it. Now this discussion took place at the United Nations about, it's been about 2 years ago now, right?
That's reasonable.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Not just, but it's...
Right. It still won't not even a drop in the bucket to what they just got, but
right.
That's a start. Instead of the Most High putting an extension cord on you, but he'll just get a belt. That way, he'll lighten it up a little bit. You don't get it.
Give me 800 Hertz code, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't get it. And so this is what happened. They're not willing to do that. And this is the very reason why he said what? And the Gentiles of the nations shall come what? To Jerusalem annually. Or they coming empty-handed? Or do they have to come bearing gifts?
Come with tribute.
Because he's going to get his.
All of it.
Believe that. He's getting all of it.
It's even to the point to where they if you listen to them, they only want us to be able to have jobs or
Exactly.
even when we quote unquote pull ourselves up by our bootstraps against all odds, they're even upset with us for that.
Yep. And if they want to use things, I was thinking about, we were in a discussion the other day at work about just slipped my mind then. Y'all know that thing that they you know what they call when they have to hire so many blacks?
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action, thank you. So we were discussing about affirmative action. You know, I slipped every day and my mind goes blank. So we were talking about affirmative action. I'm like, and I'm just listening to all this rhetoric and so about affirmative action. And I said, let me ask you something. I said, you do know affirmative action was not created for us as blacks, not to give us jobs. I said, it was created for women. I said, let me be a little more specific for women. European white women.
Right.
I said, and to this very day, European white women benefit more from affirmative action than any other demographic of people on the map. It said, to keep it from looking so biased and racial, what they did, they allowed a little of it to trickle down to blacks.
Right.
But it was designed for European white women to give them equal rights and stuff in the workplace.
And then you also realize, you know, if a foreigner was to come into America, they're able to get loans for a business and not pay taxes.
Exactly.
So it's like they're literally there are things in place that they could literally do. If they actually, like I said, they want us to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps, they could at least give us the steps and give us some boots and some laces. They won't even do that.
Exactly. And this is why the Most High has to do what He's going to do. He going to get His children. He going to get everything that belongs to Him. That's why I love lessons like that. I don't care who get mad with me. Because I'm going to pull this book right back into where it needs to be with Israel.
And then you have to question the mentality of someone that doesn't think that we are owed what's been taken from us as well.
Exactly.
So you don't think we owe nothing?
And you know, you got people say, I support your cause, and yes, you were treated wrong. And let me tell you something. You don't want the people have supporting your cause, because they'll get out there in the front line. They say, no, you don't need to do the thing, because my message is gonna weigh a whole lot more, have a whole lot more weight than yours.
Right.
Because they're gonna look at you. You're always begging, I'm looking for a hand. I don't want to. With me doing it, if I was a European. I'm standing up. No, we mistreat these people. You need to do something. We need to do something. We need to go back and correct the wrong. Stand in the gap. But that's the one thing they will not do. And let me tell you something about these people. You ever been in a situation where you have a so-called friend of another nation, whether they be white, Asian, or whatever? You can be close friends or best friends. Or so-called best friends, and you can be dealing with a dilemma. You can be in a situation where you're just in a ditch, and you need help getting out of that ditch. And they have the means to get you out of that ditch. What they will do, they will help you. They'll get you up to where you can get your armpits over. Up on even or level ground. They'll help you enough to get there when they have the means to pull you all the way out of the ditch. They'll only do so much because it's important to them that you yet remain in a certain place and they yet remain in a certain place. They're not going to pull you up when you're going to be equal with them or be on the same level or on the same ground as them. They're only going to help you so far. And what that does is, they can say, well, when I helped you when you were in this situation. Yeah, you helped, but you didn't bring me out of the situation or pull me out of the situation. And you had all of the means to do so. All of the means. But let one of them get in trouble and they need our help. Do we go above and beyond? Every time. It's in our nature. That's the creature that Yahuah made when He created us. That was the Yashra'al, some of the most loving and forgiving people on this earth. But when it comes comes to others and their relationship with us, it's not reciprocated the same. I think I'm using the right word. Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know, my mind goes off every now. And it's not the same. And that's why, let me tell you something. And that's why the Most High, when He do it, He's going to do it right, and He's going to do it all the way. You'll never be able to look at Israel again and think you're their equal. He's not. You will always be at their feet. When He put Israel on top, the nations are going to forever stay in that position. They're always going to be subordinate and subject to Israel. That's righteous rulership. Righteous ruling all the way. So if there's not any more questions or anything, we're going to call up as far as I can. He's going to blow the shofar, send us home, and King Yahuah is going to pray us out. Because he prays so well. He's not going to stumble over the words like Solomon.
Yes.